I still remember the exact moment my soul split in two. The second my own mother looked at my daughter like she was something dirty on her shoe and whispered, "This celebration is only for the real grandchildren." My name is Adrian. I am 44. I spend my days drafting ironclad wills for people who think they can control love from the grave. But that afternoon, standing on my mother's front steps, I finally learned what it feels like when the living write you out of their story while you're still breathing. We had driven almost an hour for her 72nd birthday. My 9-year-old daughter, Lila, had saved every coin from her piggy bank to buy a delicate porcelain music box because she once heard her grandmother say she loved pretty things that sing. Lila wrapped it with shiny silver paper and too much tape, practicing her happy birthday grandma in the back seat the whole ride, her little voice full of hope. I should have known better. The warning signs had been there for years. Small blades I kept bandaging with cash and silence. The way my mother would introduce Lila as Adrian's girl instead of her granddaughter. The way my brother's kids always got the big gifts under the tree while Lila received whatever cheap leftover was on sale. The way my sister-in-law would sigh dramatically and say, "You're so lucky you only have one. Must be nice not having real responsibilities." But I kept paying. I paid when my mother forgot to renew her insurance. I paid for my brother's new truck when his old one died. I paid for summer camps, dental work, emergency repairs, even the credit card debt they swore was just this once. I told myself it was family. I told myself it was love. But love doesn't come with receipts, and it sure as hell doesn't keep score. That day on the porch, something in Lila's eyes changed. She clutched that music box so tightly her knuckles turned white, staring at the laughter and balloons spilling out from inside the house. A strange, quiet smile crossed my mother's face as she said those words. And in that moment, I felt the first crack of the storm I'd been ignoring for years. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I simply reached into my jacket, pulled out the thick white envelope I'd prepared weeks earlier, and handed it to my mother. "Happy birthday, Mom. Read it when you're alone." Then I looked down at Lila, squeezed her tiny hand, and said, "Come on, sweetheart. Let's go home." She didn't cry until we were back in the car, just silent tears rolling down her cheeks as she whispered, "Did I do something wrong, Daddy?" That question shattered what was left of me. That night, my phone exploded. 83 missed calls. Messages flooding in so fast the screen couldn't keep up. My mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, even distant relatives I hadn't spoken to in years. Accusations, tears, threats. Guilt poured out like poison. I turned the phone face down and went to check on Lila. She was asleep, still clutching the stuffed rabbit I bought her the week her mother died. I sat on the edge of her bed and made a promise I should have made years ago. No more, because I knew exactly what was inside that envelope. 3 years earlier, when my father passed, he made me the sole trustee of everything. The house, the investments, the life insurance. Over $470,000. He trusted me, not them. And for years I used that trust to quietly cover every bill, every emergency, every demand. But after that porch, after watching my daughter treated like she didn't belong, I stopped. The letter was cold, formal, and final. All personal payments from me were terminated. The trust would still pay the house taxes and basic upkeep directly to vendors. Nothing more. No cash. No gifts. No ballots. Attached was a spreadsheet. Every single dollar I had given them for the last 5 years. Dates. Amounts. Purposes. Total. Almost $42,000. Not alone. A line in the sand. The real gut punch came 2 days later. My brother stormed into my office, eyes red, voice breaking. "How could you do this to Mom on her birthday?" I looked him dead in the eyes and said the words that changed everything. I didn't cut her off. I just stopped letting both of you use my daughter as leverage to bleed me dry. And then the truth finally spilled out of him in a broken whisper. We never wanted Lila at those parties because her mother was an addict. Mom said she didn't want that blood in our family pictures. My own mother, my own brother. They had been punishing a 9-year-old girl for sins that weren't hers while cashing every check I wrote. Months have passed. The silence from them is deafening. Lila and I have built something real now. Sunday pancakes, late-night talks, a home where she never has to wonder if she belongs. I didn't do this to destroy them. I did it to save my daughter and finally save myself. But some nights I still lie awake wondering, if it was your child standing on that porch, gift in hand, being told they weren't real family, would you have kept paying the ransom? Would you have forgiven them? Or would you have finally chosen the only family that chooses you back? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this story hit you hard, drop a like and subscribe. More raw stories like this are coming.